The liberal philosophy is the main alternative philosophy to all these, to socialism and Hindutva. And we had, if you're aware of the Swatantra Party at one time in India, which actually got 44 seats in the parliament. It was the largest opposition. It was headed by a group of people, including Rajaji, first Governor General, and Minu Masani, among others. And this party finally dissolved, and sorry, not dissolved, I think it sort of merged with a couple of other parties, Janata, and became part of Janata, and basically lost identity. And so the liberal concept that it was preaching, it had 21 principles, which are pretty much liberal principles. You know, from I would differ from them on certain views. For example, the use of the word social justice, which to me is anathema. It's really not a viable concept, and we can discuss that separately in another day or another forum. But it does have a bit of a mixture with the influence of socialism. I mean, the Swatantra Party was not a pure liberal party, but it was definitely in that space. It was not a socialist party. So what has happened is that after Swatantra, there has been no national party in that space in India. My aim has been, my personal aim has been to participate in such a group, whether it is created by me or joined, somebody else has got it. I'm quite comfortable with that. But it did not exist. So I'll come to that in a minute. My last, few attempts to get that going all failed actually, and so this has come out as a result of those failures in a sense. However, the point is, what I'm trying to say is we do need, India needs in a vital, vibrant democracy, we need to have competing ideas in the political space. And that is why there's a need for a liberal political group, ultimately. That's my call. And it's not just a state-based group we're talking about, but the national. Liberalism is applicable to all parts of the country at the same time. It does not, it does not necessarily have to be from one state, which is a tactical and strategic issue. So I'll come to that later. The ways to change India. For example, if you want to make India a liberal society, in fact, India is a liberal society by all standards. It is a liberal democracy. It has imbibed the culture of the Westminster system. We have been very fortunate to have some of those good things that the British left behind through our constitution, and some of the good things that Nehru did for us. When I talk about this is, I don't know if some of you might have seen this book somewhere, or it's on the internet freely available. This is the book I wrote, Breaking Free of Nehru. But I admire Nehru as a good man, and I admire Nehru as the person who gave us a very good democracy. I mean, he was a liberal at heart in some way, he just got confused about his economic policies, let's say that, and some other policies, let's say as well. So, the way to actually, so I'm looking at the way to influence India and to have a strong liberal space, and there are three options we can have. One is the advocacy space, preaching the message of liberalism, which a number of organizations today in India have been doing for about 10, 15 years. And they have actually been very supported and been supported by the governments in the last 10 to 12 years as well, because their ideas are valued. So Barun's idea, on the TV, or Barun's idea in the newspapers, and it's valued not only here, but these ideas are valued all over the world. I mean, Barun's articles are published all over the world, and remarkably influential. So we have a wonderful set of think tanks out here, and the same would apply to PATH, by the way, before I just forget the post. These two guys have actually done wonderful work for India in the advocacy space. And I've got them there as CCS and Liberty Institute of India. The other is the Trojan horse approach. So, okay, so you can change ideas. This is the Hayekian. The changing ideas is the Hayekian approach, that, you change ideas, people's ideas, and you preach a message, and finally they will actually form a political movement. The second approach is the Trojan horse approach, which if you've read Saul Alinsky, which I haven't, but I've actually just been briefed of by a very good writer, Tanute, who told me I must read the book. This is the approach which says, guys, you can't change the system from outside. It's very challenging and very difficult. So you must join an existing political force and then change from within. And a number of people, I think, have actually followed that in India. You can say Manmohan Singh, I think, is in that space. Montek Ahluwalia is definitely in that space. There are people in the BJP as well. So these guys have said, okay, I know this is a very dirty and very ugly political exercise, but I want to see change faster. Not just advocate, I want to actually do it. And how do I do it? I can't do it by setting a separate political group. It's virtually impossible, and we all agree that this is virtually impossible what we're trying to do here. So they take the shortcut approach, which is go and join existing party, and so move on. The third one, of course, is an independent, direct approach, which is what FTI and some of my past efforts have all been about. And I have a view on this, and I'll just refer you to the reason why this is an important thing. I think there's the issue of that if you really want a clean system, it is not really a good idea. I mean, it is strategically not a good idea. It may be okay as a tactical level for one or two persons, but if you do it on a large scale, it is not a good idea to go, sort of hobnob with some other political groups, existing political groups. And I'm particularly fussy about that. I don't like to hobnob because one of the reasons in the IS I've worked with a lot of ministers and a lot of other, politicians and bureaucrats and others as well. Really, it's not a clean system out there. I don't like to repeat that. It's a very ugly system. So by joining with them, I actually lose my value. I lose my self-respect. I become contaminated for life. I think we have to make a personal call. And I think to me, it doesn't matter whether I succeed or fail. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter whether this kind of thing happens today or after 2,000 years. It doesn't really matter. It is a long-standing, country. But we do need to raise our hand and say, this is what we want. I will not join you just to change you from within. I would rather that we have a clean set of people, clean slate, offer the people of India a much better alternative. And that is why the FTI approach. What are the requirements to join FTI? FTI basically is what? We started as so FTI is a proposal in this book. Okay, if you read this book at some whatever page, there is a proposal. So it came out after this experience that we needed some different strategy rather than starting a political party. We need to do all the homework, let's say, to make it a really national thing where people actually want to see this thing and support it. We need national exercise. So there the need for 1,500 leaders at least. And that is, I think, the kind of a trigger. We had a conference in Mumbai just a few days ago, and we reconfirmed this strategy. We said that let's have 500 as an intermediate step. If we find 500 leaders, then these 500 leaders can actually form a political group, a political coalition, a political party, whatever they want. It's up to them to decide. And then, to really contest elections seriously, you need much more than that, and that can be done after the 500 are assembled. You get 1,500 and more. So that is the overall strategy, that you really need a big one, because this effort is in the Swatantra tradition, Swatantra party tradition. It is not in the tradition of a regional party. So it is not a regional grouping like AGP or something. It's not linked to geography. So it's simply saying it's a pan-Indian exercise. It is across the country on offer to give good governance. And these are some citizens who are offering themselves. The other part, let me just refer you. One of the big problems we have in India after working through this 10 years of different sporadic efforts is that we liberals are basically, when I use the word liberal, many of you are not familiar with that word, and I'll come to that in a moment and explain what it means. But in general, I think Indians as a whole, and we as a whole, let's say, we are very good in giving opinions, our own opinions to others. But we find it very challenging when others question us. If somebody questions us, we get defensive. We don't use it as an opportunity to learn. And therefore we find it very difficult to work in teams. But a team is what is needed. This is no longer the time for a Gandhi. That time is over. This is the time for leadership among citizens, citizen leaders, and we need hundreds and thousands of them. And these people cannot be leaders if they can't work with each other. So that is why the concept of team. The team is very critical. I was quite impressed, very impressed, I would say, by the kind of people we have assembled on FTI.
Issue also about, are people ready for liberal ideas? If you talk to an aam aadmi today, what उनके क्या concerns हैं? They'll say school, बच्चों के लिए school चाहिए, hospital अच्छा चाहिए, सड़क ठीक होनी चाहिए, जहाँ पे मैं काम करता हूँ वहाँ पे अच्छा job होना चाहिए, and I should be able to afford things that I can get, and I should have enough choices. So that is what the average person wants, and any person who's able to deliver that. And liberalism as a philosophy over history has proven that it offers such mechanisms which will provide these things in the best and the most efficient manner.
I think as we partially address his question, see, I think there is a need for clean governance, no corruption, and freedom. right? People may not understand the word liberalism, but you're saying, is there a need or support for these things, right? So I think that is there, and we want to capture that.